Let's go. I want to rock right now. I want to rock right now. It takes two to make a thing go right. It takes two to get it out of sight. It takes two. It takes two. It takes two. Oh man. Rest in peace. Yeah. Anyway, um that's how I'm gonna start the show. That's how I'm gonna start the show. All right. I'm by myself today. It's all good. No worries. Welcome back to my third place. Not home, not work, but that familiar in between where nostalgia, stories, and late night conversations always seem to find their way back to the porch. Um, tonight, I'm I'm good. I'm all right. I'm by myself. It's all good. I'm just out here hanging on this porch, just chilling by myself. But tonight feels like the last week of school before summer break finally begins. You remember that feeling? The backpacks barely mattered anymore. Teachers were rolling the TV carts into classrooms. Everybody was counting down the days until freedom officially arrived. And every conversation sounded the same. What are you doing this summer? What are you doing? What's going on this summer? Well, what are we doing? Hmm. Getting laid in the shade. I love when freaking kids used to write that on my yearbook. Have fun this summer. Get laid in the shade. Here's my phone number. Totally forgot about that. Um, once late May hits, it's done and over with. Especially in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, you could already feel summer waiting around the corner. Longer days, bike rides, and basketball games until the streetlights came on. Random late night hangs with your friends and somehow turn into stories you still talk about years later. Me talking about that years later. That feeling like life was about to open up again. That's the energy on the porch tonight. Episode 297, and tonight we got a solo episode hanging out on the porch together. No giant production, no huge theme, just one of those classic pull up a chair, let's talk kind of nights. Kind of like Captain America putting the chair around and just putting. So we're doing this episode by ourselves. All right. Pull up a chair, let's talk. That's all I said. I love saying that. These usually end up being some of my favorite episodes, anyways. Tonight, we're diving into the current obsession that's completely taking over stores, wallets, and social media timelines again. Pokemon hunting, the FOMO, the chase, the singles, the feeling of walking into a store hoping today's the day you finally find a product everybody else already cleared off the shelves. All the scalpers took them. If you ever stood in an aisle debating whether to buy or just one more pack, you already know the struggle. That's me. I can't with just one more pack. I have to buy them all. We're also checking in on Marvel Rival Season 8. How's it going so far? The current vibes around the game. Diving into some Devil Dinosaur lore, because honestly, that giant red dinosaur deserves more respect. Everybody keeps saying it's stupid, it's dumb. No, it's not. It's fun. It's absolutely fun. I love it. Thor is still my main. um, rar. The pod deck questions are back tonight, and these they unlock some childhood memories. What childhood toy gave you PTSD? Every generation has at least one toy that looked harmless but somehow turned into a full blown hazard the second you touched it. Yeah. And another question that immediately transports you back in time. What was the first piece of tech that made you feel like the coolest person alive? The first Walkman, the first flip phone, the first MP3 player. The giant desktop computer that sounded like it was booting up NASA every time it turned on. Mm. That moment where technology suddenly made you feel futuristic. But the bulk of tonight's episode, that belongs to one Dungeon Crawler Carl. We're talking about everything from the DIY cars that I made, the graphic novel, finishing up book two, recapping the chaos, the emotional damage, the ridiculous moments, and unofficial preparing ourselves to head into book three. At this point, the series has become part of book club, part therapy session, and part what the hell is happening right now? I'm completely locked in. We're all locked in. Everybody's locked in. So whether you're here for the nostalgia of Pokemon Hunting Chaos, Marvel Rivals, or another trip into the madness of Dungeon Crawler Carl, DCC, pull up a chair. This is episode 297 of the M3B podcast. Let's get into it. It is the truth. It is the truth. Yes. Yes, it is. I kind of want to know how I'm sounding on the other side of the place. So let me go check YouTube real quick. Let y'all know. I, can I like? I want to see if I can like. um, I kind of like forgot to um edit the title of the episode for this one, so I'm like doing it right now. Welcome to the live Dungeon Crawler Carl Book 2 recap, episode 297. Yeah, we're good. No worries. There you go. Okay, we're good. I sound great. I sound amazing over there, apparently. How was my week been? It's been okay. Also ended up getting this today. The y'all know what this is, right? The orange envelope that I usually get every month. The 92, which is nostalgia by itself already. So let's open it up. If you don't know the 92, check out the 92. It's a newsletter. It was a newsletter at first, and then it just became like this whole snail mail project where the guy that invented it said, let me send you guys some stuff. And so he did. He started sending you stuff. I got the authentic 1999 NSYNC photo card. It's a sticker, by the way. There you go. Or can you guys see it? Like for real, check out the 92. Here's another sticker. It's a Dunkaroo. Another sticker. I'm gonna put it on my computer right now. In a few, after I'm done with this podcast. Um, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the Red Ranger. Fun. All right, here's the 92 Gold Club mini boxes. The mini fun boxes filled with 90s fun, authentic collectibles, premium merch, nostalgic fun. The Gold Club is a new quarterly membership option in addition to these envelopes. Go ahead and do the thing right there if you like. if you are invested in this already, like I am. If you want to. If not, that's fine also. Another sticker. He loves sending stickers apparently. This one is of a CD. Compact disc for all those people that don't know what that is. This is way before streaming. So Summer Break 98 mix. He has Viva Forever. I don't know who that is. Everybody's probably and Backstreet Boys. Song number three, Getting Jiggy with It. Song number four, Barbie Girl. Song number five, Iris. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna add these to my Spotify. Summer Break 98 mix. Number 12, Show Me Love. Baby, if you want me, you got to show me love. Heartbreaks and promises. Mm. She was. I love that song. What's Viva Forever? Do we know? Number two, Backstreet Back. Everybody. Number three, Getting Jiggy with It. Getting Jiggy with It. Blah, 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 blah. Number four is Barbie Girl. I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. Five is Iris. What's that? And I don't want the world to see you. Is that it? I don't fucking remember. 12, Show Me Love. 11, I Want You Back. I'm trying to say I'm sorry. I know. Alright. Is that in sync? um, Number 10, Waterfalls. Don't go chasing waterfalls. Please stick to the rivers and the that you used to. Number 9 is Honey. We all love that Honey mix. Mariah Carey. hmm Number 8, a song that we shouldn't be been singing back then when we were young. Semi-Charmed Life. Why? Go read the lyrics. Go read the lyrics. Do 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 do. Number 7, a song that, got me made fun of because I sang it back then in high school. Bop, yada, bop, yada, bloop, 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 bop. It was by Hanson. They're fucking awesome, dude. I don't know why everybody had a fucking big ass problem. And those same people are listening that made fun of me for listening to Hanson and Bop are probably listening to them right now as adults. The kids. Number 6, give me one reason. Give me one reason to stay here. Is that it? I went the wrong way. Irish. Number 6, give me one reason. Give me one reason to stay here. Number 7, Bob. Number 8, Semi-Charmed Life. Number 9, Honey. Number 10, Waterfalls. Number 11, I Want You Back. Number 12, Show Me Love. I'm gonna add these to, and I'll turn right back around. All right. Give me one reason to stay here, and I'll turn right back around. I'm gonna add these to the playlist because sure, it's a summer break. See, even he's all like summer break time. What is this? Barry B. Wild invites you to Squeeze It, Summer Bash 97. Squeeze the fun out of it. Remember Squeeze It? 6797. Oh, hell yeah. Save $1 on any pack. This is hilarious. Remember the summer bashes like everybody would go to? A Hot 97, Summer Bash, whatever it was called. I don't understand why this dude decided to send me a picture of Joey Fatone. So, all right, sure, why not? Um, 'Cause that's what I want. I'm gonna put him right up there. Why do you have a picture of Joey Fatone? Why not? Why not? Is it a picture? Oh my! It's one of those. It's an actual picture. It's like the ones that you get from the store after you. Yeah, fucking Joey Fatone, just chilling in my freaking thing right back there. Whose picture is that? It's Joey Fatone. That would be a poster in a girl's room, probably. Yeah, it would. It would be. That's like one of those like why they're like so fucking spread apart. I don't want to see this. Look, be like, look. Oh man. Um, what throwback crosswords? Uh, okay. It, it's a whole thing of throwback. It's a crossword puzzle. See if you can guess it without, you know, it's the answers in the back, but still, like, try not to look at the answer kind of thing. I'll probably do that later. All right. Like, this guy usually has like a pamphlet, and I want to read it to you. Why not? We're already 15 minutes in. Just might as well. All right. Who cares? The 92 Club. Dear founding member, I'm convinced we 90s kids all share the same childhood. Yeah, we'll do trivia later. We'll do trivia later. It's okay. I'm convinced we 90s kids all share the same childhood. Fact number one, we thought quicksand would be everywhere. Why? Because something happened to a horse? How dare you? The Bermuda Triangle? Basically in our own backyard. Yeah, things would get lost in our backyard. Stop, drop, and roll, a daily occurrence. Bigfoot waiting to snatch us right off our rollerblades. I I'll come back to rollerblades in a few. Um, like our old friend Chucky Finster, we were afraid of a lot growing up. Chucky, aw. But reading this is proof of no matter what creepy crawlers were under our beds, we made it. Long live the 90s. Grant, that's the dude that has the 92. Y'all should check out the 92.com. I'll leave the link in the show notes. It says here, oh, the pure magic of a trip to the elementary school computer lab. Remember that? We'd happily place our fingers on this home row keys before dominating Mab's beacon at 11 words per minute. Oh, hell yeah, dude. This is elementary stuff. I forgot all about it. Fun and games, forgotten fashion. I don't remember any of this. Do you guys do? Do you guys remember any of this? Snap bracelets, yes. Swatches. Reptar hat. What are these? What are those? I'll put it closer to you. I'm sorry. The butterflies. Um, what are those? That's a Ninja Turtles headband. That's probably a headband. I already know this what this movie's from. Hair clips. Those are hair clips. All right. I already know what this movie is from. This is where the whole outfit. Is that Headbangers? Um, I want to say Adam Sandler, um, Brendan Fraser, and who else? I forgot who else. Was hold on, I'm looking for it. Headbangers movie. The Headbangers. That's not. No. Is it? Not Headbangers. I'm sorry. It's Adam Sandler and Brendan Fraser movie. Airheads. I'm sorry. It was not Airhead. Steve Buscemi is the third one guy on there. But the fact that it's the same. I just knew what it was. I just didn't know the name of the movie. But yeah, that's him right there and all that stuff. Uh, best of '90s people. Best of '90s people. Will Smith, Yo Home, smell you later. God, Fresh Prince of Bel Air. Melissa Joan Hart, Clarissa, and Sabrina are criminally underrated. Clarissa explains it all, and Sabrina, like the reason I watched Sabrina was because I watched Clarissa. I knew about Clarissa. Robin Williams, a good comedian, an even better nanny. Hello, because we love a good Miss Doubtfire reference in here, of course, right? Amanda Bynes, bringing in the dancing lobsters. I have no idea what that means. I've only seen one movie of hers, and that's She's the Man. Eddie Murphy, that's Dr. Little to you and me. Yeah, that's fine. Um, and then we have choose one to play forever. Ooh, this one we could have freaking played with Greg. Mario Kart 64 versus 007. Which one would you choose to play forever? And on that note, I'm doing this next week. Mario Kart 64 versus 007. By myself, 007 all day. Golden Gun, everything. With friends, Mario Kart 64 because why not? Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? And this is on the computer in the desk. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego versus Kid Pix? Which one would you play forever? I'm gonna go with Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego. I don't know what Kid Pix is. And finally, Crash Bandicoot versus Pokemon. And not just Pokemon, it's Pokemon Red on the Game Boy. PlayStation, Crash Bandicoot versus Pokemon Red on the Game Boy. I am going to go with Pokemon Red. I love Crash Bandicoot. I played it already, but I'm going to go with what I like. Um, Trivia, quiz time. All right, so here we go. Question number one. Which network originally aired Dexter's Lab? A. Nickelodeon, B. Cartoon Network, or C. Disney Channel? Lock in your answers. You ready? You got it in? The answer is B. Cartoon Network. Question number two. When playing Pogs, what was the heavy disk called? A. The Spiker, B. The Slammer, or C. The Crushmaster? I don't even know this because I only played it once and I didn't know what they were doing. You locked in your answer. You good? You guys ready for the answer? The answer is B, the Slammer. Just and my brother lost all his pogs. He did. Number three, which old school music platform is 100% made up? A, Lemon Drop, B, LimeWire, or C, Napster? Who do you think it is? Got locked in your answer? Answer is three for A, Lemon Drop. I love it. I'm gonna use this for next week when I'm playing with Greg. Awesome. So I'll put these back. I'm taking forever to put these back. We're still in the intro. I love it. No, we're not. No longer in the intro. Fucking Joey Fatone. That's crazy. I love that he's there. I'm gonna put him. I'm seriously gonna put him as a just because. Why not? Why not? He deserves to be played. He deserves to be put up. Not many like you know a lot of people are gonna say like my favorite is Justin Timberlake, JC Chasez, Lance Bass because I follow him on TikTok. Like the only guys I ever follow from NSYNC that I've been following since 2020, since I joined the place. So yeah, he's one of my favorites on there. And he answers usually shows up when I tag him. Usually, yeah. All right. Where are we on this podcast? We are on How was my week? My week was fine. Currently dealing with fucking FOMO right now. I am like, I want to go out there. Remind me to go back out and come back in through your share later. Winter load. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm glad I sent it to you. Um, with everything with the FOMO, and I get it. I already got these cards. Um, Currently what's out right now is what's it called? Chaos Rising, and like this isn't Chaos Rising. It's the same, but it's Ninja Spinner. It's the Japanese version, Korean version, or Japanese version of it. So 2 months ago, a month ago, I think, when it came out, I went and got these only. There was like at least 50 of them that I got, and I opened them and everything, and you know, I got a bunch of hits. I got a bunch of stuff to go with that, and then and everything was fine. I just kept saying, I was like, I got them first before you guys did, and everything. It's like, okay, cool. Um, I also got Perfect Order, and I bought that at ETB. I have the first ever ETB box, and it's probably gonna be the last time because I just wanted to see how that was. Ended up getting a bunch of stuff in the ETB box. It's like, I still have a whole box that's not open yet. I want to wait till episode 300 so I can open it on live on the episode because that was supposed to be my gift to myself as episode 300 hit. Um, I got a bunch of cards though. It's like, there's these. I bought a whole 30 pack of Japanese ones for Twilight Masquerade, and it's fine. That should take care of it. No. And then obviously there's the ones at Walgreens that, the smaller ones, and still nothing. So when this past week when Chaos Rising hits, and I'm just like, ooh, I want one. I want one. Because everybody else is like, oh my gosh, look at this pack. Look at these packs. Look at these packs. And I'm sitting there like, I already got these. Why am I getting so much FOMO out of this? Why am I like so worried? Because there's the Japanese version, which nobody usually gets, and then there's the American version, which everybody's celebrating over it. And I'm just like, I want to do that. I want to be there. But, I can't. I'm looking around. I'm going out there and I'm just like, you know what? No, I'm not going to let it get to me because this Friday, when it happened yesterday, Friday, Dark Abyss, the next one that's coming out in a few June, I believe. It's going to come out in June. So I'm going to go get those. Not Dark Abyss, but the Japanese version of it. And I'm just sitting here like, well, if I can't get Chaos Rising, now I'm going to go get Dark Abyss because it just came out. But I'm just like, no, wait until you have money, then go. Right now, it just feels like you're doing it because I'm doing it because, other people have this and other people have that. And I'm just hitting with the FOMO. I'm just like, I just want stuff. And I already have stuff. So it's like getting to me, but at the same time, it's working. I'm telling myself, calm the hell down. You got this. You're okay. You need to worry about what you have right now. And plus, the reason why I made the Marvel Rivals cards for the binder is so I don't have to be like, you know, trying to grow buy something else when I'm doing already something on the side that's DIY. So I said, okay, let me calm down then. It's fine. It's fine. So no Pokemon hunting until a few weeks from now. Maybe next weekend, maybe in a few weeks. And then episode 300, of course, I'm gonna open up a box that's already out there, and it's the Mega Evolution box set, which has like 4 or 5 packs in there. Yeah, so we're good. We're good on that. We're good. And if there's no hits out of that, it's fine because it still was open on episode 300, so it's all right. um, what else? Uh, yeah, I think that's about it. That's how my week went. That's how my week is going. Um, I ended up buying. Oh, so we ended up. I ended up reading the ending of book two. I'll talk about that later. Ended up cleaning up, getting another binder because I wanted to take out all the cards from all the bulk that I have in here and look through them and you know some of the artists are in there and I'm putting them in the binder itself, like new stuff to do with the cards. Maybe I'll start another binder that has to do with I don't know, my favorite cards. Maybe springtime, summertime stuff. Yeah, that'd be great. Okay, let's shift gears. Let's get out of Pokemon stuff. Let's go straight into Marvel Rivals season 8. Came out last week finally. I bought the battle pass. Um and not only that, within the week, cuz I had a bunch of gold units left over already from like every week I end up like putting in $10 worth of gold units in the account. So it accumulated up until this past week where I'm just like putting in like, all right, let me get these. And I bought all the battle pass. It's done. All the skins are gone. I'm done with the skins. I'm done with the what is it, the pictures? The gallery cards. All I gotta do is the blue units or the units for the accessories page. And we all know there's a limit to the blue units. So I'm just gonna play until it tells me I can't anymore. I can't buy it. Um, yeah, I'm not for ranking placement matches. I did it. I ranked up. I'm currently on gold one, and I'll probably wait until Tuesday because Memorial Day is on Monday. And you know how all these high school kids and all these kids are at school, and some of these kids, some of the people I play up against are they either have jobs or they're in school. So I usually do it during the weekdays in the around the afternoon, mornings and afternoons, and rank up so that I have that that little chance to get up there. And I'm still using White Fox. She's amazing. I love her kid. I love how she's like. I don't think I can play anybody else as a strategy anymore. They're gonna be out soon. I know they are gonna be out soon. That's why I'm trying to climb up again. They're gonna be. I'm gonna still climb. I'm gonna still climb. So White Fox, I can't play any other strategy because I tried playing as what's her face, their faces, Cloak and Dagger, but I kept pressing the same buttons as I do for White Fox. Same with Luna, although with Luna, it was a little bit better because I was like, all right, you know, this is so much better. Uh, the reason I was playing with Luna is because I originally had White Fox. There was another person who was like, can I have her, please? I was like, dude, no, let me play with her. She's first come, first serve, right? Blah blah. We were dying and all this other stuff, and then I'm just like, you know what? Yeah, let's go. Let's switch. So she switched to White Fox. I switched to Luna. We switched back and forth, and then we just went with it, and we won that game. It was awesome. It was great. Um, what else happened? Also on this battle pass, we have a new character. Well, not new for Marvel, but a new for me because I've never met him. I've never seen him. Um, he's one of the weirdest, coolest, and most unexpectedly wholesome characters in Marvel has ever created. A giant red Tyrannosaurus Rex named Devil Dinosaur. DD for short. I'm calling him DD. I don't care what anybody says. But DD could also mean Daredevil. I don't care. Dee Dee, which one? Devil Dinosaur? 'Cause, like, I don't know. There's, like, a lot of people fighting back and forth. Dee Dee this, Dee Dee that. I was like, "Why don't you just call him Dino? Don't tell me what to do." Um, who is Devil Dinosaur? Devil Dinosaur first appeared in 1978, created by comic legends Jack Kirby and Steve Gerber. And only Jack Kirby could look at comics in the late 70s and say, "You know what Marvel needs? A giant red dinosaur best friend." And it worked. Devil Dinosaur comes from a version of Earth called Dinosaur World, basically a savage prehistoric realm where humans and dinosaurs still coexist. But this wasn't Jurassic Park, this place was brutal. The story goes that Devil Dinosaur was originally a normal dinosaur hatchling until a tribe called the Killer Folk attacked his family. The fire from the attack mutated him, turning his skin bright red, increasing his intelligence, and making him stronger than the other dinosaurs. He survived, but barely. And during all the chaos, he met a young bull K-boy named Moonboy. Marvel's version of Tarzan, mixed with a caveman inventor, crossed with a tiny chaotic sidekick. Moonboy and Double Dinosaur became inseparable, not owner and pet, not rider and mount, best friends. That friendship was the core of the entire character. For years, Devil Dinosaur was mostly viewed as a weird cult character. Then Marvel started connecting him to bigger stories, multiverse adventures, time travel, cosmic events. And then we get Moon Girl. And around that time, Devil Dinosaur became mainstream. He formed a bond with Lunella Lafayette. That's who Moon Girl, one of the smartest characters in Marvel history. A young genius from New York who accidentally swapped minds with Devil Dinosaur through Kree technology. That comic exploded in popularity. Suddenly, Devil Dinosaur wasn't just a weird Kirby creation anymore. He became emotional, funny, protective, and surprisingly lovable. A giant red murder lizard with the soul of a golden retriever. So Dinosaur World is a savage prehistoric reality where dinosaurs still rule the earth, primitive tribes fought for survival, and evolution never fully progressed the way it did in the main Marvel universe. This wasn't just Earth in the past. Marvel later hinted this was potentially another dimension, another timeline, part of the multiverse itself, of which fits perfectly in the Rivals multiversal storyline and everything. The Killer Folk were brutal humanoid tribes that hunted dinosaurs, used weapons, controlled fire, and acted like prehistoric raiders. They're the reason Devil Dinosaur became who he is. When Devil was still a hatchling, a Killer Folk attacked his family using fire. Most dinosaurs feared fire, but Devil survived it. The flames mutated him. That fire transformed him from a normal predator into a legend. He can spit fire from his mouth. Um, Moonboy wasn't just originally accepted by his own tribe, he was smaller than everyone else, different, more curious. The tribe viewed him as weak, but Devil Dinosaur saw something else. The two became outsiders together, and over time, Moonboy protected Devil emotionally, while Devil protected Moonboy physically. Their relationship became one of the earliest examples in Marvel of found family, loyalty, and survival through companionship, which is why longtime Marvel fans love these characters. Their story is actually wholesome as hell. Um, Over the years, Devil Dinosaurs started crossing over into time travel stories, alternate realities, and cosmic Marvel events because once Marvel introduced multiverse concepts, a giant red dinosaur suddenly became useful everywhere. He's appeared alongside the X-Men, Spider-Man, the Avengers, Moon Girl, and even other variants of heroes. And because Rivals already plays with timeline collisions, Devil Dinosaur actually makes a ton of sense canonically. So Moon Girl, Luna Lafayette is considered one of the smartest people in comic history, smarter than Tony Stark, Bruce Banner, and even Reed Richards in some storylines. You could hear it on in the in the dialogue in Marvel Rivals where she says she's smart, or he says she's smart. and somehow her best friend is still a dinosaur. So their bond formed after a Kree device accidentally linked them together. The what made the comic special was the contrast that super genius little girl and the giant primal dinosaur brings an instinct, science, and chaos. And it that feels very Marvel Rivals. People underestimate Dee Dee, the dino, because he's a dinosaur. Um, Devil Dinosaur has fought giant monsters, survived explosions, tanked futuristic weaponry, battled cosmic level threats, and physically overpowered enhanced enemies. He's basically Godzilla in Marvel Universe. Right. He's Hulk level durable and terrifying momentum. Imagine getting charged by a fully armored T Rex the size of a bus. Now imagine it's smart. That's Devil Dinosaur. Um, he's one of the he's one of the best, the most fun characters to use on Marvel Rivals right now. He's a Vanguard, but everybody you know, it's a fun character, and if people had a problem with playing as a Vanguard, he has a dinosaur. He's a dinosaur. Rawr. He's a Vanguard, and if people had problems playing with Vanguards, they don't now because it's like, oh, you're gonna play a dinosaur because he's so fun. Yeah, go for it. It is fun. Um, he has bite grab, tail sweeps. I love the tail sweep. I can just at the same time as just the regular um button. That's both times you can do it. Roar, environmental destruction, moon girl support gadgets, and Stampede Rush Attack as his ult. He's fucking amazing. He's freaking awesome. I love it. Potentially his skins. Imagine like Savage Land skin. That's already there, right? Yeah. Um, Mech Dinosaur. We have that already. But imagine a symbiote dinosaur. You saw it on Jeff. Why can't Devil Dinosaur have it? A zombie dinosaur? Rawr, even worse. Christmas sweater dinosaur. Spider Verse inspired variant. Um, Devil Dinosaur with a Spider Man mask on. Sure, why not? Or better yet, I'm I'm sure they're gonna do this. I'm sure gonna do this because they've done much other things as well. Devil Dinosaur in the summer skin would be him and Jeff Dinosaur. Exact. Oh, Dinosaur Jeff and then Jeff Dinosaur. Yes, but summer skin giant dinosaur with a um donut around his body and just going off with some glasses as well. Even though he doesn't have ears, but just put some glasses on him and something. And yes, uh, like people love weird Marvel mascots. Look at Jeff. Look at Rocket. It's like, you know what? Let's do the same thing with the Diamond Sword. Don't ever allow him to twerk. No, don't do that. Change his color, change his skin so many times, but don't overdo it. Don't overdo it like you do with Luna or Psylocke. Let him have a little bit. Like he's already a meme character. He's a competitive tank, and like people will pay money for that. So yeah, so season 8, I love it. Um, I'm climbing up the ranks. I can't wait for season 8.5 with Cyclops when Cyclops comes back. When comes in finally. Um, Eventually, I will talk about it when Cyclops gets in there. See how he's playing. Devil Dinosaur is fun to play with. There was a match where I was the is the it was the what's it called? The Hydra station, the best of 3. And what's it called? The contain I forgot what they're called, but the first one, the first match, I went 25-0, which was crazy, and I even questioned it. Are you guys bots? Because what is this about? And like, no, they're not bots, but they're like, they got pissed off because they gave me 5 losses in the next round, and then we lost that match, and then like we came back in the third round and like went 35 more, 37 more, something like that. But it was fun. Um, don't compete against the other uh dinosaur. Just keep going after the squishies first, and then go after the other ones. Um, because you know that devil dinosaur, the other devil dinosaur will want. All right, I want to fight you. I want to fight you. So they're gonna go after you. Meanwhile, your team is right back there fighting him. So while it was 5 against 1, me versus the other team, and me taking them out at 25-5 and 25-0, and then 5 against 1 against from my team against him, and they were kicking his ass. Some of them, he was doing something to them, but it was fun. It was fun to do. It was fun to play. So yeah, that's so far season 8 is freaking awesome. I love it. Even though I'm already done with the skins and everything. But yeah, I can't wait for season 8.5 now. Like I guess I'm not done playing it. I can still like mess around because I'm still in the vampire stuff that I want to do to play with everyone with Squirrel Girl. So I'm gonna keep doing that one, and then I'll come back and tell you guys how that one went. All right, let's switch it up. Let's do some pod decks. um, I asked these questions this past week. What childhood toy gave you PTSD? Let me drink some water real quick before we start everything. Huh? Oh, okay, yeah. So those are stuff. All right. Thanks for telling me. Jane is in the building. Yay. What's going on, Jane? How are you there? All right. All right, here we go. So, what childhood toy gave you PTSD? Not the fun toys. We're talking about the ones that somehow cause pain, fear, chaos, or emotional damages growing up. The toys that pinch your fears. The toys that pinch your fingers, launch pieces across the room, made terrifying noise in the middle of the night, or became accidental weapons during playtime. Maybe it was stepping on them barefoot. Maybe batteries dying made them sound haunted. Or maybe one bad childhood memory permanently changed how you looked at that toy forever. Every kid from the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s had at least one toy that felt more dangerous than entertaining. Maybe it's the 70s. So what toy gave you childhood PTSD? Drop your answers and stories in the comments. Just woke up. Yours is the skip it. Leanna says skip it because skip it. Like try skipping, and I can just imagine because I did it. I've done it once too. I played with the skip it when like as an adult to see if like, oh, that's a cool game I used to play when I was little. Oh, ho, ho. So I would do the skip it, and then like, oh yeah, you have to have that stamina and be faster. And I wasn't fast enough because it hit my freaking ankle. Oh man, it was rough. So yeah, ankles hurt just seeing them. Exactly, they do. They do. Angie Linderman, 546 said Teddy Ruxpin, however it's spelled. Teddy Ruxpin was. It doesn't have to hurt you physically. It doesn't have to hurt you physically. It can haunt you, give you PTSD emotionally. I know what Teddy Ruxpin is. I haven't seen one in such a while, but the way that thing eyes move And the reason why there was a Chucky movie that we're still doing pod questions, pod episode. Yes, we're still doing a pod episode. Greg's Wi-Fi is out, so I said, let me do this by myself then. So I went and um redid everything basically. Um, edited some of the stuff, added some more stuff that I want to talk about since he's not here, and I guess pivoted the entire thing into a whole new episode. So yeah, I got on here late and we started just talking about this stuff. We got the orange envelope too. I need to hide this. Imagine if I just went ahead and showed it. Like anyway. Anyway, Teddy Ruxpin, I get it. Yeah. Julie Gamage says lawn darts and clackers. Clackers, I get it. It's it'll hurt your hands. I know. Yeah. It's the lawn darts that why would you? Why is that a game? I get the whole thing is to is at a bar where you just have darts and throw them at a contained area that everybody's back there behind you and nobody is and there's just a wall right there, right? Um, so I changed my card number. So I just stopped buying the orange envelope. I changed my card number after they billed for the second half. So basically, I hope I don't get charged because why would they charge something late in November next year of this year, September, into this new account where they don't even have the new account? That'd be crazy, right? Kids for sure shouldn't have had them because you just waited for them to fall. So there's this wall at least, and you can just throw the darts at them. Lawn darts is I just saw what they look like, and I'm like, who would do that? Who would just say, "Hey, this is a great idea. Let's have cornhole. Is that what it's called? Cornhole, where you just throw a sack into a hole. Let's do that with lawn darts, with darts, but make those lawn darts bigger." It's like, "Ugh." Yeah, it was coming out of my account. Yeah, and now probably not. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see in November or September, and when the whole thing recycles again. Um, but lawn darts are crazy, diabolical, just wild. Silly little redhead says Sky Dancer is a small fairy Barbie toy. You would pull a string and it would take off flying across the room while spinning. This often would hit other children or the same child. My God, I fucking love it. It would. It would hit the other child or the other children as well. And it's like if people weren't watching and you were just outside and you did it, and it's like little helicopter, and then it would just you're like you aim that way, and then it goes that way and it hits somebody over the head with it, and they're looking at you and it's like I aimed that way, I aimed this other way, not my fault. This whole thing just gravity, you know. So yeah, exactly. Menace says I'd say Legos and Jacks. Legos. Oh, late at night. Not late at night. Like you're walking around and barefoot and you step on those suckers. Lego bricks. Yeah, it's not fun. Worse, jacks. Who it has jacks out there in the open like that? Why? What? And it and this whole thing, the Jax one, it reminds me so much of Home Alone when who's Merb? Harb. Who's Harb? Marv? They hurt so bad. Um, the tall guy, Marv. When Marv sneaks into the window and steps on the stars, that's what Jax remind me of. Every time I see that, oh damn, they hurt, they hurt, they hurt. It's just like they hurt. Jane says clowns because why would you have clowns as a toy? Why would you have clowns as a toy? Yeah. um, that would give you PTSD for real. Like, but if you grow up with clowns, then hey, you're a different person now. Twisted Lady Wolf says Operation. Again, it doesn't have to hurt you physically. It can hurt you emotionally. And in this case, Operation. What? I used to get porcelain dolls as gift. They freak me out now. Ooh. Um, Operation is just. I feel like she's talking about when you mess up on something and you hear that beep sound. Beep, you fucked up. So nah, yeah, possibly that. Mayor on Elm Street says I fell using a Pokeball and never used one again. The Pokeball. Um, Bad enough we had pogo sticks where we can just think we can bounce up and down with them pogo sticks. And like if you were good with a pogo stick, you were damn good with a pogo stick. And then your friends came over and they saw they could use the pogo stick too. And then like, how do you do this? You only bounced once and then you fell. Thank you for posting. Bad enough there was pogo sticks. Now you want to put a ball in the middle of a disc and see if you can like balance? No. What's that about? The Taylor family says this doll right here with its creepy glowing face and pitch black room staring straight into your soul. Post a picture of a doll and like I zoomed on in and it's like I was never the same again. Um that was horrible. That was rough. Mine. That's what did I say I was gonna go back to? Was it this thing right here? Somewhere around here, I guess. No. Slammers. um. No. Nunchucks. Because I would always play with nunchucks, and I saw Michelangelo in Ninja Turtles play with the nunchucks, and I wanted one. I ended up using it, and it would hurt me instead, physically and emotionally, because that shit was hard. That was rough. There were other toys as well that man, it was rough using them. The skateboard, roller skates. That's what it was. Roller skates. No for roller skates. I'm sorry, I can't. I can't roller skate. Even as an adult, I can't. I tried once. I fell face first, and then as an adult, I tried again, thinking that I could do it, and I fell on my ass. It's even worse when it's one of those roller skates where it just like makes a lot of noise, like clack, 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 clack. It's like, are these even safe? No, they're not safe. If you really want to learn roller skating, you should. You should definitely. Like you should. I know I can't. I'm not stable enough. I don't have the right balance for it. Skateboards. I just say skateboard. Bike. Um, there's so many stuff that I fell on off of bikes, roller skates, skateboard. Um, what's that thing called? Not it's that has a handlebar on it now. I can back ice skating. Skateboard with handle. Scooters. Scooters. Yes, those things. The scooters. Um, my goodness, dude. The scooters were bad. Scooters, especially if you like people would do tricks on them and like, swing them around and everything, and then you think like you can do the same thing and it caught you on your leg and you're hurt and now you can't even perform right. So you just walk home, walk it off. You're good. It's all good. I fucking love it. But I hated scooters. Everything about them. Um, those hurt. Uh, did I say toys? Toys. Dolls. Since they mentioned dolls, I'm gonna say the wrestling buddies. Um, story time. Me jumping from the couch onto my wrestling buddies and hurting my arm, my elbow, and my mom saying no, yelling at me, telling, taking me to the hospital. Oh shit. Yeah, that was me. Yay, story time. Yeah, that was me. That was me back in the day. It happened to me. I did the thing and I don't regret it at all. uh, your trauma makes you who you are today. Basically, everything about everything that's ever been done to you, it gives you character. um, I once stood in front of someone riding a bike and it freaking knocked me down, and I woke up in my tub. I don't I love the fact that Jackass is coming out with a final movie, and all I can think about, I was like, "Yeah, I remember those times, good times." But I'm just like, we were doing that way before they did that when we were kids. We were jumping into things and getting into creeks, walking into them, and all that other stuff. And way before that, uh, the skateboard situation, all that stuff. Um, the fact that I knocked out and woke up in my tub because I had tire marks all over my body, and that's all I remember. And then the next day, my friend told me, he's like, "Yeah, you stood in front of a fucking bike and all this stuff." And then his friend was the one that knocked me out, and he came over and he's all like, "Hey, man, you okay? I'm sorry." It's like, "I don't remember, dude. Don't worry about it." It's all like, "Shit, okay, fine." And ever since then, he's just felt bad. And this was like when I was like 8 or 9 or 10, around that time. I just remember some things that happened to me while back then, which is weird and crazy because I don't usually remember things. Okay. Traumatic event. Core memory unlocked. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. All right, next question. We are so an hour into this, and I went into this question like this is why I need Greg here. This is so I'll do this real quick. I'll go through these questions real fast if Greg's around. No, if it's a solo episode, I take forever to talk. My goodness. Oh, Greg, where are you? All right. Back to this stuff. What was the first piece of tech that made you feel like the coolest person alive? Even with metas, like both of them. If I'm both of them are in the on the episode, I'll go through all this stuff real quick because we both have an hour and a half to go through, and we have a lot of things to talk about. But me by myself, I tend to just over explain things like this right now, and I don't think people want to hear that. So maybe I'll edit this a little bit. Maybe not. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just leave it alone by itself. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. What was the first piece of tech that made you feel like the coolest person alive? Before smartphones, Wi-Fi, and streaming, there was that one piece of tech that made you feel like the coolest person alive. Maybe it was your first Walkman, portable CD player, Game Boy, beeper, flip phone, MP3 player, camcorder, family computer, or the giant stereo system in your room. Back then, getting a new piece of technology felt like unlocking a whole new world. You showed it off to your friends at school, you carried it everywhere, and for a moment, you felt unstoppable. Growing up in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s meant technology felt exciting in a completely different way. Every gadget came with memories attached to it. So, what was your first piece of tech that made you feel like the coolest person alive? Drop your answers in the comments. Danny R says Game Boy. JD, well, let's go back to Game Boy. I love the Game Boy. I get that, like, that you had a Game Boy and everything. It was like the coolest person alive. My brother had one, and he was just like, every time, I need new batteries. I need new batteries. I need new batteries. I'm just like, dude, mom, why'd you buy him that? Batteries cost a lot like back then. JD, whichever. JD, Nano Baby. Um, this I want to say it was like the Tamagotchi, but it was like if you can take care of a pet Tamagotchi, like a little pet thing, then hey, yeah, you're cool, you're good. But they went ahead and said, let's see if we can take care of a baby. And then parents, my baby died. Are you fucking kidding me? What? My nano baby died. I was like, can you please tell us that instead of just the baby? Because I gotta go feed my baby. Hold on. I gotta give it some stuff. I gotta play with my baby. I'm like, are you kidding me with this whole thing with the normal baby? And yeah, it was fun for them. And but I don't think it was like this is how you become parents. You practice doing this. No, that wasn't even the case. They had to reset it and everything. Do they still sell this? I don't even know. Pause 19711. A spell checker. Hell yeah, why not? And I think I know which spell checker they're talking about. Fracture, fracture, and is red. I don't know what it says. There's a lot of words in there. FWR, forward ray Turing SD. Bag phone in my car. Okay. Thirst responder says Atari and Walkman. That is Atari. That's old school tech right there. Walkman also. You love me a Walkman. Jason Baxter says a Motorola pager. Yes, the pager. The pager was fun. You know how old these people are once you realize that their first stuff is this. User 607-432-919-8470 says Sega Genesis. Hell yeah. Trish says Motorola flip phone made me feel like I was on Star Trek. That was early 2000s. Awesome. Blue Stitching, Discman, better than a Walkman. It was for CDs. But can you record on those CDs, ma'am? Hmm? Hmm? Can you? Can you record on those CDs? No. No, you can't. So it's not better than a Walkman. With the Walkman, you know what I did? You want to know what I did? I listened to my cassettes and I paused it, rewinded it, changed it to the other side where my favorite song was, some of my favorite songs. And then, if you have blank cassettes, you could record you and your friends having fun, talking to each other and doing all kinds of crazy stuff and then singing to um, OVP, yeah, you know me. Yeah. Can your Discman do that? Can it? Can it like record you and your friends having fun? No, it can't. No. So it was never better than a Walkman. So therefore, no. I love you guys. You tell him. I'm telling him right now. Mr. Silly Juice? Mr. Silly Juice says my first boombox. Hell yeah. Walking around with that thing on your Ego M13. Walkman, see? Not just me. Packers Fan Medic 361. Ew. Anyway, I did that. Me and my friend Jessica recorded it ourselves doing all the time. Yes, it's me, Jessica. Eagle M13 Walkman. Packers Fan Medic, I guess. I have no idea what this is. I'm about to look it up. It's called the AN SQS 26CX sonar I was trained to use and worked on in the Navy. So this guy didn't have anything until he became an adult. Oh, damn. And it was just a sonar. So it was like a bad boy freaking adult tech. Um I love that. Uh that's awesome. Good on you on with the Navy stuff. Victoria C4, my calculator. I get people saying LOL at the end of these comments because, it's silly. Haha. But it's the right answer. You're doing fine. Yeah, I know it's silly, but here's my calculator. Yeah, that's what I was trying to ask. What was your first tech that you ever used in your life? Your calculator. Awesome. On your phone or a real calculator. You know, that would have been great to know. Nikki, handheld satellite TV. I would bring it in my backpack and watch literally anything it picked up in class. Lots of Jenny Jones. That's what 90s. This is the 90s. That's the 90s right there. Because when was Jenny Jones? Handheld satellite TV. That was an Emerson ET 700, 7,000 7-inch portable TV. Yeah, those were expensive back then. Now it's just like $70. You can buy them. um, but yeah, watching Jenny Jones for that, it was an after school show for sure. Yeah, I'm thinking, you know what? They were probably watching recap episodes. Not recap, repeats. Because they would play repeats of Jerry Springer during the daytime of the night before. Like anything, Ricky Lake, the big four back then. Ricky Lake, Jenny Jones, Jerry Springer, and Maury. Or was it Maury or was it the other guy? It was Maury. And we're back when Maury didn't just do paternity tests, but like actual stuff. Yeah. Ralph says my record player. It was Maury. Okay, yeah. Record player. That's great. Bone Man 88 says I remember as a kid when the Game Boy Advance came out, and I was the first in my friend group who had one. It was Arctic White. My friends still had Game Boy Colors for another week or so. I felt very superior. The Advance was just fucking hell. That's, I love it. Oh, you have a Game Boy? What kind is it? Game Boy Color. It has color. Well, mine's a Game Boy Advance, boy. You know what that one does? That's the flip phone. That's the flip phone version of the freaking Game Boy, where like the Game Boy was just this, and then you had a color. The screen was colorful. You get to see like actual color, like having a color TV now. No, the Game Boy Advance let it like hold my phone. Hello, that's a flip phone. Released by Nintendo in 2001, known for its rich library of games, ergonomic horizontal layout, and backward compatibility with earlier Game Boy titles. It remains highly popular today for both collectors and yeah, that one. Meanwhile, Game Boy Color people get to play with the Game Boy Color games, while Advance gets to play with anything that came before it. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Uh, I love this. And very superior. Redneck trans dude says Walkman. Hell yeah, Walkman. I hope I don't get in trouble for saying those words on the anyways. Um, Sue, first computer class available in high school. First computer class. Yeah. So, did you not have computers in junior high, or was this like, hey, we have ourselves a computer technology? Yay! High school. Jen, a disc player. That's great. Cocter and balls. Palm Pilot. Fox, the TCG hunter. He's one of those Pokemon TCG guys. That's great. And Nintendo Entertainment System. Awesome. Joel Ariano, my OG NES system. Great. Heather Jane, Sega Game Gear. Again, that that's the equivalent of a Game Boy Advance. Jane says getting my hands on the Nintendo game and watch Donkey Kong Jr. after one of my older siblings. Oh, we love a good Donkey Kong game. Yes, love it. Voted for me and you, my little professor calculator. Leanna says, though Talking Whiz Kid, it was a good computer game that you had to put cardboard cards in to play the game. It was so popular because I had it until one of my competitors. Until one of her, what is it called? Frenemies? Are we saying frenemies? It was so popular because I had it up until one of my frenemies had to be better than everyone else friends. Mom got her a real computer. What was her name? Do you remember her name? Say her name. Say it. Mandy? Fuck Mandy. Well, Mandy, your spoiled rich ass. Look, Mandy. Nobody likes a spoiled girl. Okay, Mandy? No. No, Mandy. We don't nobody likes a spoiled girl. You go buy your own stuff. Go I want it too. No, it's never gonna work out like that. I hope Mandy, I hope you get hit with karma one day, and if you have kids, I hope they'd be like, I want it too. I got restricted. Fucking love it. I love it. I knew it. I knew it. All right, cool. We're gonna stop right there. It's still going on the podcast, but we're gonna stop right there with Mandy. Sorry, Mandy. You know what, Mandy? It's all good. But no, I hope that happens one day. Um, Mark says, "I recorded for my TV." She says, "Leanna says I have to do chores at her house. If you start at night, I went once to scrub floors." What the hell? If you had to do chores at her house if you stayed a night? What kind of shit is that? Why? You wanna spend the night here? You gotta work for it. Make your daughter do it. What are you doing? You're a guest, ma'am. What are you doing? No. Yeah, we ain't going. We don't appreciate that, Mandy. No way, Mandy. No, that's not how you treat a guest. That's not how you treat Leanna. Okay, that's not how you treat Leanna. All right. Mark says I recorded for my TV VCR. DJ Raymond Live says 8 millimeter video camera. I will tell him 8 millimeter video camera. I guess. Freaking, I have one of those too. Barb Anns 73 says Walkman. West and Atari. Gordon Brown 765 says 70s. I operated one of my first computer photo typesetters. I was a bomb. Today I came and worked my XM radio. I get that. I get that. No. We get that. We get that. Like, you used to be the shit back then. Like us, I mean, when MySpace happened, what we operated we knew how to code, you know? This is like 10 years ago stuff now. We learned how to code, we learned how to do all kinds of stuff. 10 no, this is 20 years ago now. Wow, time flies by. 20 years ago, we knew how to code. 20 years later, we're like, uh, how do you do a video for TikTok? Huh? What? Can't even do that anymore because people get upset, especially TikTok. Anyway, so yeah, 70s I operated one of my first computer photo typesetters. That's great. Richard 81 says my TI 33 calculator. Cool. Buff Slut says we grew up poor. My dad cleaned rental cars for a living. He'd always come home with a bag filled with random stuff he found in cars. One day he came home with this. I need to go check out. My life was never the same. I would show up to my fourth grade class with this feeling like the ultimate hot shit. I think it was the Game Boy Advance also. Gonna be able to see it. Am I? It was a Game Boy Color. I love that. It was a Game Boy Color. Real cool. Infamous Feral Daughter says a beeper. LOL. Lisa B says a beeper. Kitty Meow Meow 1121. My Sony Walkman too. It was the real deal and so tiny. And yeah, they just started becoming very tiny. They're just like, and that's when they become the M3P player, MP3 player. Oracle. Dot Eric says my Hayes 9600 baud modem, $600 a time. I was the king of the online world. A Berica says portable CD player. George on Long Island. In the late 80s, I had an electronic Rolodex with an LCD screen that plugged into my phone line. I thought that was so cool at the time. Lanny posted a picture of a boombox. Sunshine Girl, a free solar powered calculator in junior high. And I'll come back to that one. Lala Gunny says boombox. Oracle Eric says my Hayes 9600 baud modem. I already said that. Phildo, iScan at a data center when they first came out. Liz, a calculator. Menace, a Sega Game Gear. A PJ, a Walkman. George in Long Island. No. Sunshine Girl. A free solar powered calculator in junior high. And of course, that didn't last long because the minute I got up from my desk and went back to it, someone stole it. Piece of shit. POS. I took off TikTok, because I get that. I get that. Like people are don't take shit to school, you know, because then you run the risk of that happening to you. So I responded with, oh, it's one of those comments that were hidden. No, I get it because in high school my stuff was stolen also. So uh my Walkman and my cassettes that you know, I made from all that, from the radio that I recorded. So usually I took it to school and everything. And next thing I know, they're stolen. And I'm just like, well, that sucks. So then weeks later, I saw this guy like rummaging through his backpack and like he was pulling stuff out also as well. And I saw a cassette being pulled out and I looked over and I was like, I saw because it was one of mine. It had my handwriting on it. I know my handwriting is horrible. I have horrible handwriting. Still do. So my handwriting is on there. So I'm like, hmm, like okay. And he had my Walkman in there too. So I'm like, that's fucking asshole. That sucks. Um, didn't think much of it, of course. Like I'm like looking around and shit. And then he goes to the bathroom, leave his stuff here in the class. I go through his stuff, grab my cassettes, leave the Walkman there, take out the batteries, walk out, take him, take him with me. I left the Walkman. It's like if you're gonna steal my stuff, I'm gonna be petty about it too. Um, so as he's like going through his stuff, he's looking for his stuff and everything, and then he's looking for his cassettes for the cassettes that I have now in my possession. And I'm just like, "What are you gonna do? Tell him that I stole your stuff when it has my handwriting all over it, and just admit that you stole my stuff?" Okay. So he's like looking for it, and then he has the Walkman with him, and it's just like, "What am I gonna do with this?" Not only that, I got the batteries also. What are you gonna do with it? It's like it ruins the entire day. I ruined his entire day. He ruined my life. I ruined his day. Like not even my life. He didn't ruin my life. I bought another Walkman, and since then I had like disc and everything. Yeah, let him pay for expensive batteries and let him pay for new cassettes. Meanwhile, I'm taking the cassettes home and recording over them because that's what I usually did. I don't like this song anymore. I'm gonna record over it. That's what we all did. That's what we all did with the video cassettes too. We recorded over the stuff. Like, all right, this movie sucks now. I can just throw it. All right, and that was it. That was all of it. Where are we? An hour and 28. I know I'm taking forever for this. Um, where are we on this stuff? I just finished book two of Dungeon Crawler Carl. Carl's Doomsday about Sun. I just finished book two of Dungeon Crawler Carl, Carl's Doomsday Scenario. And the series went from funny apocalypse dungeon RPG to one of the most emotionally devastating and horror-filled things I've read in a while. Um, before we get into the memorable fights, the reality TV satire, the RPG mechanics, and that ending, I'm gonna answer big questions. So, what surprised me? What surprised me was the horror. I wasn't expecting. I went from the first book, like this is fun, this is funny stuff, to the second book being straight up horror. Like it leaned very hard into the horror genre. Grimaldi Circus was ridiculously insane. Serena Signe, the girl that was like Maui inspired, I think. I wouldn't say inspired. Would I say inspired? Maui inspired with tattoos moving around because Maui from with Maui's tattoos were moving around. Heather the bear, that poor bear. Miss Quill, the Skyfile remix, the last boss, whatever that thing was. The whole floor, the entire floor, floor three was just crazy in itself. It felt like the horror floor. What surprised me the most was the atmosphere, how when it became, it wasn't just fight monsters and level up. It felt like walking through a haunted house, a haunted, a haunted freaking asylum designed by aliens because they don't know us, they don't know the world, they don't know Earth, they don't know humanity. Undead Circus especially felt disgusting in the best way possible. Body horror, psychological horror, twisted performances. You slept through the whole chapter. The dungeon suddenly stopped feeling like a game and started feeling dangerous on a completely different level. I mean, it had its moments there, but it was just like a request. And even when I'm playing video games and doing my side quests, they're not even this horrifying at all. They're just like, all right, this was easy. For this book, it was just like describing the most unpleasant stuff ever. Serena Signe, um, the circus, the bears, the lemurs. Oh, the lemurs with the skull, the giraffe, the bears. Again, everything about this was completely crazy. And I think that's why I became a fan of the book, of the second book. Um, because the first book, I said it this before. The first book, we go from monster to monster to monster to monster. Neighborhood bosses, neighborhood boss monsters, and basically gave us candy. He gave us candy, and it hyped us up. It made us just like, "Ooh, I love this." Ooh, and once the book 2 comes out, where's that candy? Like, "Oh shit, these are monsters. This is horror." It's like you're not giving us much as candy, but you're giving us some good stuff. You're giving us the what's it called? The adult size candy on Halloween. You're spoiling us. But now you're doing it in a completely horrifying way. Favorite moments? My favorite moments, honestly, weren't even the bigger fights. They weren't the fights at all. It was character interactions. Those were my favorite moments. The Desperado Club. The Desperado Club scenes were awesome as hell. Um, weird found family energy in the middle of a complete chaos. It's uh, Donut getting drunk and muttering about how she could take out Lucia Mar's dogs, and somebody like I don't know if people outside of it could watch in what was going on inside, or if somebody like filmed the footage of her saying it, because then you saw it on the recaps episode, and Lucia Mar responds with "Bring it, come on, let's go." Um, the whole thing was like comedy, and then it became tension. It just felt ridiculous. Um, what was the name of the character that they buy stuff from? Postul? Postul. Postul, the hobgoblin with the with the wart and the pus coming out and the unicorn, and she's all um talking seductively and everything. And then They have a sidebar chat. They have a side chat with everybody in the crawlers. All the crawlers have side chats where they can just talk to their group, and nobody up there, boring, can't hear you. Nobody can hear you. Nobody can see you. And instead of using that, Donut whispers it and says, "Oh my God, she's ugly." And the Pulstiel, the Hobgoblin says, "I can hear. She has better hearing. She has good hearing." And it's like, wait, what? Like this whole time, Donut is just mocking her and talking bad about her and everything. And Pulstiel's all like, "Yeah, no." And then Donut says, "For someone who has who works for, you know, blowing stuff up for a living, you sure do have excellent hearing." And Pulstiel's all like, "Yeah, I know." Um, that was so like those kind of things were fun. Donut just like having so much fun in these books. Um, Hecla asked them both, "Hey, can you take in one of our team members, so that you can, increase her stats as well, so she can be in your group. Our group has so many people that, we can't, all that stuff." So the Carl's about to say no, but Donut insists, like, "Yeah, we can do it. Yeah, sure, why not? Not a problem. We got you. We got you." Donut's trying to do the social thing, trying to have friends and everything, and Carl's just like, "Can we just get this thing done already?" He's the physical guy. Donut is the social one. So they meet Hecla is the one that's like asked like, "Hey, can you do this for us?" And she's like, "Yeah." So Hecla sends in one of her girls, Katya, and even then it's all like, "This is so cool." They have a third member now for a little while. For a little while, I don't know how about third book yet. What emotionally hit? So towards the end of the book, the world basically collapsing around them. The apocalypse is happening, and that final floor, that final floor, yeah, that final floor, the final moments of the floor where everything is about to blow up and everything. Donut finally admits to Carl, you know, she knows she's dead. She didn't say her name. She didn't have to say her name. We all know her name, who she is. The way she said it, the way she just like breaks down and says it. We all just assumed. We all just knew. She knows she's dead means Beatrice, her person, her human. And it was from book one to the point of this book. We all hate her because, of what was said, what she did and all that stuff. That part. Yeah, that part. And we all hate her because of what she did and all that stuff. But at the same time, be Donut, that's Donut's mom, you know. Like she's a freaking asshole towards Carl, but at the same time, she's a great mom to Donut unless Carl was gonna say tells her, like, "Hey, you're about to be replaced with a new model." But he didn't tell her that, and we didn't like we glazed right over that. We didn't know, we okay, that's right, it's true. She was gonna get you a new bottle. But never happened. So Donna just like having funny moments, funny moments, and then at the very end, towards the end, she breaks down, and it just breaks you. That this little baby cat is just like, I know she's dead. I know she's gone. Miss Beatrice is gone. And it hurts because you realize Donut has been in denial this entire time. She doesn't want to accept the fact that she's gone. She doesn't want to accept the fact that she's a horrible human being. Like she tells Carl about her three other boyfriends, She tells Carl about the daddy tax. She tells Carl about all this stuff and doesn't think anything is bad about that at all. Like, to us, the readers were just like, "No, that's bad. What are you doing?" But she's my human, so I gotta, like, protect her, like, that's my mom. But to us, we're just like, "No, no," and then to us, reading that part where Donut admits it, it's like, "Oh, honey, I'm sorry." All the attitude, all the ego, all the drama, all the vanity, that was armor. She was using her armor. She was, using her defenses. She was using her wall. She had a wall up there, and she didn't wanna admit that she didn't wanna accept that her old life was gone forever. And Carl says at the very end, like, "Yeah, come here." So he hugs her tight. He hugs her tighter, and that just like if you didn't feel any type of reaction to that part, it's like, "What's wrong with you?" And that's the moment where the series stops being the dungeon for me. It became about grief. It just we all do sometimes, yeah. And the epilogue might have hit even harder. Um, that point right there, and then Carl sitting alone in the bathroom, naked with toilet paper wrapped around himself. Why? Because he took off his pants. He took off his shorts to run around naked, and, that was that also was funny, and I forgot to mention that, but, you know, he the his shorts were magic. He had magical shorts, and they had to take off anything that was magic. Donut took off her magic stuff, and I'm not gonna spoil it for you, what she took off, but, Carl had to take off his pants, his boxers, because they were magical, and he was running around naked. He was free balling, as the song said in the saying, and then, like, he was checking in on people, he was helping people, and they're, like, questioning it as well. It's like, "Why are you naked, bro? What are you doing?" He tried helping up this one guy, and he's all like, "Dude, get your balls off my face, please." Like, "What?" It's like, fucking hell, hilarious stuff. It was some funny dialogue in there when he was naked. The whole apocalypse is happening, this man is naked, and the narrator is just the author, narrator, he Carl's narrator. The author is just like, while the whole, apocalypse is happening, here's this man naked running around, yeah, have at it. And I said on the live too, we're not gonna get to see that. You guys are not gonna get to see that. You're gonna get to see some butt action. Whoever plays Carl has to have I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it, but has to have a good butt, at least for the lady eye candy out there. Um, so yeah, and, like, you have 2 years to establish that, or 3 years depending on where the situation goes, and to me, it's funny as hell, because at the end of the day and he came and put on the shorts too, because after he gets out of this whole mess, after he goes into the door to go to the next floor, immediately he is transported to the show, the after show of that show, and he's naked still. So he goes to the bathroom and he just wraps toilet paper around his entire groin area and body and everything, and he looks like a fucking mummy. Um, and he's just sitting there naked, emotionally wrecked after everything that happened. That, you know, it wasn't it that felt real. That there was no explosions. Not the boss fight, not the explosions. It's the exhaustion of doing that afterwards. And the same thing happens to us as well, gamers. Like, all vulnerable. Yeah, he was vulnerable. The same thing happens to us gamers as well, where like I know me. And when I'm playing Rivals or Final Fantasy and I get to the final boss, Sephiroth, for instance, or ranking up and going from Gold 1 to Platinum 3 and having that moment, that sigh of relief and saying, "Okay, I'm done. I'm gonna put this game away and just chill and just, uh, sit there and, like, take it all in," and, like, you just accomplished something, and it was so exhausted. Um, doing that with Captain America back then when I was maining him and having all his punches, you feel that through your through the remote, 'cause I felt whiplash while I played him, and I'm just like, "Yeah, I'm never gonna play him again." And months later, I did, and it's just like, "Yeah, nope, no, we're gone. That's why I don't play him anymore." Um, so that's how that captured the survival aspect of it. Um, what shocked me, the manipulation. The hidden agenda with Hecla planning Katya with Carl and Donut just to eventually separate Donut from Carl. I want her on my team. That was the hidden agenda, basically. I hated that shit. That's why he wanted to send Katya in to get the enemy, all that shit. I'm just like, you guys are horrible, dude. Um, completely changed how I view anything at all. Now you realize you can't trust anyone. Like they have a strategy of their own. So they're like, you know, I'm gonna put Katya in and like you get to Katya's gonna talk to Donut and do all this stuff and then be like, "Hey, Donut, you wanna come with us now?" Because Donut has the what's this thing called? Artist Alley. And like it comes with the territory of having, you know, she can she can charm you. So Hecla wants that. The thing that really shocked me was the rankings. I didn't know about the rankings up until later. Welcome back, Minister. Um, at the very end of the book, they give out a ranking of the top 10 crawlers. Hi. At the end of the book, they have the ranking of the top 10 crawlers. Where's the book? Hold on, let me see. Because I want to see how this was done. So the leaderboard at the end of part two, at the end of book two, um, Lucia Mar, number one, level 29. Number two is Hecla at level 28. Number three is Prepotente at level 27. Number four is Florin at level 24. Number five is Miriam at level 27. Number six is Carl. Number seven is Donut. They're both at level 27 and 26. Ifechi at level 18. Lee Jun at level 25. And Ellie McGibbs. Old lady Ellie McGibbs. She's still alive. She's at level 13. The old lady that was flirting with Carl and, talking about Barry when she was young. The 98-year-old woman. Yeah. So those are the top 10 at the end of the book. And there were like numbers attached to it as well. So Carl asked, like, what does the 1,000 and on both myself and Donut represent? And Odette tells them, those are bounties. Those are how much you're worth. So Lucia Mar is worth $1 million, and I'm not gonna say $1 million. Like, yeah, okay, you know what? We're a million. Hecla is worth 500, and then when you go down the list, Carl and Donut are worth 100 each. Um, Many more questions are asked. Um, who collects these bounties? Do other crawlers collect these bounties? Um, does Sophia Mar get 100,000 for taking out Carl? Does Carl get 1 million for taking out Lucia Mar? Um, or are these only for the other crawlers that are not in the top 10? Are these for the NPCs? Do NPCs get in on the action now? Non-playable characters, hey, maybe Mordecai gets to get in on the action. How about factions? Do Carl and Donut each share $500,000 after taking out Lucia Mar? Because they're in a little thing. It that whole question was like, okay, that what what's happening? Because if it's true, then the dungeon just became way more dangerous. Here's why book two works so well. It's not just a dungeon crawl anymore. It's horror, it's satire, it's psychological survival, streaming culture commentary, RPG chaos, and emotional trauma. It was traumatic from start to finish, and it happened all at the same time. The series constantly, every time mocks reality TV culture. Like I just kept saying, why does this remind me of The Challenge? Why does this remind me of Survivor? Why does this remind me of reality TV? Um, Kardashians, Real Housewives, all that stuff, because they were going on they were going on talk shows after everything that went on. It's like, all right, so this is happening. The crawlers are now celebrities, their rankings, fan reactions, recaps, sponsors, production manipulation. The apocalypse was sponsored. This is like the apocalypse is being sponsored by a Twitch chat. Mm. And people aren't just trying to stay alive anymore; they're just trying to stay relevant. Um, there were some memorable fights and moments, of course. The Undead Circus, Carl becoming an actual walking bomb threat, like um, Carl's Doomsday Scenario, Heather the Bear, the Desperado Club was amazing. I love the Desperado Club, and I hope they like make it when the whole TV show happens. They turn it into this whole um, segment of it. The Soul Crystal Catastrophe, what the phrase Carl's Doomsday Scenario really means. Like let me go back to the book. Hold on. What it really meant was and he even didn't get a celestial either. So ASMR that. Carl's Doomsday Scenario, what it really means was it was an unstable custom explosive. Its effect is an explosion large enough to rattle the teeth of God. Explosion eminent status, created by a man who murders babies and steals rare collectibles from his elders. He's never gonna get away from the fact that he accidentally, hit the babies, the goblin babies back then, because Donut. Oh yeah, there's babies in there. Forgot to tell you. Oops. This device is powerful enough to level the entire city and all the suburbs around it. It is created by combining a massively overloaded soul crystal in a shell glass Reaper case. Warning: this item can no longer be stabilized. Um. So yeah. So everything about that is just that was Donut's fault. Everything changes by the end of the book. Book two is where Dungeon Crawler Carl stops feeling like a gimmick, starts revealing how deep, dark, funny, and emotional brutal this universe really is. And this is the point where the crawl officially got his hook onto me, where I'm just like, yes, I love this book. That I'm set. I'm all in. We're good. And after that, after this book, we're done. When I finish the book, guess what? Number three is next. Number three, the Dungeons Anarchist Cookbook. So yeah, that one's next, and it already starts off wild, crazy. Can't wait to talk about this on the next episode, probably a month later. In about a month, if I'm still in the book in about a month, maybe I'll do like a um 3.5 where I say like, all right, this is what's going on at this moment. Um, so yeah, this is such an awesome book. Um, Besides that, I did mention that I did other stuff as well. Besides that, um, I got the besides that, I got my hands on the graphic novel, and for it's not even book one; it's half of book one. Book this ends at the Shamankas, Rory and Lorelai. This ends during the whole altercation with Rory and Lorelai. So it's fun, and then it's like you realize, oh, it's done. This is like half of book one. Like not even that. It's probably gonna like end at book two. Too. But the reason I got it, of course, is like FOMO hit me on that one because everybody had it. Everybody was just talking about the book. Um, the first Saturday of May 2nd, I went to my LCS, my local comic shop, for free comic book day because they said they were giving out some Dungeon Crawler Carl stuff. And I go there like late, obviously couldn't get there on time. And they were out of Dungeons Crawler stuff, Carl stuff, DCC stuff. And the guy that works there was just like saying, just like, "Do you guys out of Crawler stuff?" And it's like, "Oh yeah, dude, we ran out early." And I couldn't get one either. And I'm like, "Oh, that sucks." But you can get the graphic novel when it comes out if you just give us your name and all that stuff, and we'll have it here for you. We'll save it for you. Yeah, yeah, for sure. So I gave him my name and everything, and forgot to give my number. She didn't ask for the number, of course. It was her fault. Um, the next week I go there again to buy some Pokemon cards to get some Pokemon stuff, and they're like, "Hey, while you're here, we forgot to get your phone number." That's my bad, but still, we forgot to get your phone number. It's like, yeah, I thought about that too. That's why I came in today because I figured, hey, I forgot to give you my phone number. So, I gave my phone number and everything. So I was gonna wait until they called me so I can go get the book. Instead, being scrolling around and looking at the hashtags for your favorite um book and everything, and then watching all these people just like do freaking content with the book, and I'm sitting there like, I don't have it. I don't have it. I don't have it yet. I don't have it yet. You know what? I'm just gonna go to Second and Charles, and I did. Went to Second and Charles, got the book because it was there the whole time. Went to Second and Charles, got the book, came home. It's like, ah, it's like, fuck, make content. I did. I have. I've been making content with the book. Um, and it's a great book. I love it. So while that's happening at the same time, um, we're visual learners. We want to know what they look like, right? So you all seen my Marvel Rivals binder where I just like make made cards out of Marvel Rivals. Season 1, Season 0, Season 1, Season 2, and then I changed it all up to um, purple and what a actual Pokemon card would look like if it was Marvel Rivals. So I went ahead and did the same thing for this book for Dungeon Crawler Carl. So I started looking online, looking at some of the what's it called? Looking at some of the fan art because that's what they are. They're like what's the thing? Fan art, and like I printed them out and I just like cut them up and I posted them. I taped them. I super glued them on top of the energy cards, the Pokemon cards that I don't need because I'm not using them. So whatever. So here they are. So I'm gonna go through them. I can't go through one because it is obscene. I can show you some of it, but like not all of it. All right, here we go. Here's Carl. This one has Donut also. Carl and Donut. Princess Donut. Goblin on a motorcycle trying to does the first book chapter in the book where they're trying to like get at him. Proceed with caution. Proceed with caution. Here is Mordecai, the NPC, the tutorial guy for Carl and Donut. This is the first floor. Every floor he changes into something different. The first floor he looked like a splinter, but he's a rat in here. The second floor he was a bugaboo. That's what a bugaboo looks like, I guess. So it's just like so weird looking. And third floor, I'll show you later what he looks like. Here is the hoarder, the first boss that he meets. I'm gonna say the second boss. The first boss, I think, were the hobgoblins, the goblins. But this is the first boss, the hoarder. Um, here's a bad llama. That's the second boss. It spits lava. Bad lava llama. Bad lava llama. Zev, she works for Boring Company, the one that runs the entire place. And I gotta put this down to show you the other one. And this is the Dungeon Crawler World person. This is Odette. Damn it. Okay, so here we go. This is Odette. I can only show you that. That's it. Sorry. That's all I can show you. I don't want to get kicked out. Anyway, there you go. Those are the Shamankas. Donut names them Rory and Lorelai from that one show, Gilmore Girls. She Donut also named a couple other people as well, and I think there was another reference, and it was Max and Caroline from Two Broke Girls. And then her is we yeah, Donut loved all this stuff. Um, I forgot what they were called. The Juicer. This is a lizard bro. Yeah, lizard bro. There's a lizard bro. Where am I? There you go. Every word out of his mouth, every other word out of his mouth was bro, and they're just juicers. If you know what juicing means, yeah. Here is Frank Q. Frank Q. He was one of the crawlers as well, and he snuck in a bathroom to get to Carl, and that's his partner. That's Maggie Mai, who also was trying to get that Carl. There is Karen, Kraken, whose name is Karen. It's a fairy. Yeah. There's Rory and Lorelai again, just because I want to use this one as well. Hecla, she's an Amazonian. She's involved in the book. She's the one that convinces Carl to take in Katya. to like, as a I'm gonna say a Trojan horse. Who knows? Here is I forgot what they're called. They're this is the group that Carl meets up. The Leto Mark. Leto Mark. Let the Leto. Yeah. Some Metal Lark. I said it the other way around. Metal Lark. The Metal Lark group. So that's the group leader, Brandon, his brother Chris, Imani and Yolanda. Don't fall in love with them, please. Not good for you. Brandon, there's the maestro. He's an ass. I don't know why he's on that part. There's Yolanda. There's Imani. Old lady McGivens, who's in a wheelchair. She's 98 years old. She's a very big part of that story. Is she's hilarious and funny, and she wants Carl all to herself. Even though she's 98 years old, she don't care. That is Agatha, crazy old lady with a shopping cart full of stuff. She is a plant. According to us, our theory is that she's a plant because she started a fire that took out everybody, and she has some crazy stuff in there. Um, Carl put her shopping cart in his inventory. You gotta read the book to understand what that means. The ball of swine, that's the neighborhood boss. It was a crazy deal. The elemental rage, somebody peed on the floor when you're not supposed to anymore. On the walls, they peed on the walls, and the Boring Company sent out this monster to take out some people. Who's that? The kobolds on dogs on top of dogs. That's all I can explain how that boss works. Mongo, we meet Mongo. Mongo is special. He's a little dinosaur. He's a pet. He's a fun pet. Lucia Mar and her dogs. She's a 12-year-old kid, and she's in the dungeon running amok. Uh, Carl and Donut, Prince of Donut, posed as Absolute Batman, inspired by Absolute Batman. Um, I wish you know what? I thought about this later on. It's like I should have just gotten the names of the creators that did the fan art, and just put them on here as well so I can like read them. I'll look into them as well. Again, that's Katya. Yeah, that's what her face looks like at the beginning of book 2. That's Desperado Club. I'll have more Desperado Club pics later. Mordecai and Floor 3. He's a succubus now, and he gets drunk and he has a little party of his own. Mongo, when he gets bigger, uh, his name was Ralph. um, and Carl stepped on him. There's a lot of for cosplayers when they're dressed as Carl, they have this little plushy toy of this, and they put them on the floor and they squish them with their feet because the AI has a thing with feet. You got to read a book. That's Grimaldi and the circus. I'm telling you, I have more stuff. That's the circus animals, the lemurs on top of the giraffe. Those are the villains. That's Heather the bear. Villains again. Serena Signet with the tattoos. Yeah, Serena again. Uh, Daniel Batista. He's a swashbuckler pirate. He's an ally. He fist bumps Carl. Carl. He had like a few cousins and sisters in his group. They all got taken out by the lemurs, and Carl went ahead and looted the bodies and took a necklace out of one of them and gave it to Donut. And he didn't want to tell Daniel that I have your sister's necklace. Hey, fair game, finders keepers, whatever the hell that means. We meet him later, but in book 2, he was supposed to be doing a side quest that Carl ended up the messing up. And then they fist bump, and that means if you have physical touch, you're automatically added into the chat, to the group chat. All right. Skyfowl. This is what the villains look like at the end of the book. Miss Quill, the other Skyfowls, um, and that's what the last villain looks like. Remix. That's Miss Quill's husband. Yeah, I think so, right? And then that is the final 10, the group. Everyone in there, the top 10 in the leaderboard. They all have bounties on their heads. So yeah, well, not all of them. Katya's in there for some reason, or I think that might have been Hecla. Who knows? But yeah, everything's cool. All right. Yes, and then we have the dungeon itself. Yeah, for now. I'll have more. But yeah, so I with that I'm gonna make I'm gonna buy another binder and put them in there, and just those was series 1 of my binder. Series 2 is probably gonna take place for book 3 and 4. So yeah, that's about it. That's it, guys. That's all. That's all the stuff. Oh my god, we're at 2 hours. I love this. I love talking about this. Whatever. All right. Who's ready to go? Y'all ready to go? Y'all ready to head out? Yay. All right. And just like that, another late night conversation here at my third place comes to a close. Tonight really felt like one of those old school porch episodes. Just sitting back, talking nostalgia, chasing Pokemon cards like we're searching for treasure maps, because I already am. I always am. Revisiting childhood tech that made us feel unstoppable and somehow unlocking memories about toys that absolutely should have come with warning labels. Are you still holding on to your ankles? Because I am. I'm holding on to my knees. It hurts. And of course, another trip deeper into the madness of Dungeon Crawler Carl. Sure am. From the DIY cards to the graphic novel to finishing up book 2 and preparing to dive headfirst into book 3. Before I do anything else, this right here, my reaction, my face before I start book 2, book 3. Okay? I'll come back in a month or 2, depending on how far into it I read it, and you're gonna see a different reaction. If book 2 didn't like already traumatize me with the whole stuff, like, oh my god, book 3 is just gonna be like, whoa. Okay, I'm completely okay with this. I am. Um, I love it. This series has visually become part of the DNA of the porch at this point. I love reading. This is like me reading on the porch, me reading a story to all the kids out there and everybody that's in the chat. Just like, all right, we're on chapter 1 now. Let's go. We're okay with this, right? We love doing this. This is the thing that to do now. Thank you to everybody who keeps showing up every week, sharing memories, answering pod deck questions, turning these episodes into something that feels more like a late night hangout than just a podcast. That's what makes this place special. And don't forget, we'll be right back here for episode 298 next Wednesday as we continue the road toward Clash in Italy, which also means we're getting just a few more steps closer to the big one. Episode 300, 300 trips to the porch. That still feels wild to say out loud. Wow. After the 300, I'm definitely opening that thing up there. So, yeah. We still got a lot more nostalgia coming your way, too. More pod deck questions like what kind of celebration did you do after the graduation ceremony? Did you hit a party with friends, go out with family, take one last late night drive before summer officially started? Those nights always turn into stories people remember forever. We also have more physical media recommendations to close out the month of May, Plus, we'll start setting the table for June with Father's Day questions, more nostalgia conversations, and more movies, shows, and collectibles worth adding to your shelf. And before we head out, don't forget to check out the YouTube channel too. Not just the podcast episodes, but for the gaming streams like Marvel Rivals. And hopefully soon, Lego Batman Legends of Dark Knight. If I can finally get my hands on it. And I'm going to have to because last night I was on Twitch and I was trying to get my Marvel Rivals drops. And then I go into someone else's Twitch um, account, watch their stream, and they're playing Lego Batman. And then I realized that they have drops for that. And now it's all over. It's on my stuff. It's there. I just need to get the game now and sign myself up for it so I can get the drops. The drops can be legal. So drops can actually work. Yeah. That's about it. That's it right there. So hopefully that works out. And then I'll do streams on Lego Batman. Why not? That'd be fun, right? Yeah. I'm like, take a break from Marvel Rivals and play Lego Batman. Because why not? Plus late night hangs, the ongoing Dungeon Crawler Carl book one read through. Yes, we're still on that. I'm analyzing the shit. I'll go through it real quick again, so we can get into book three once we get in there. And now the continued journey into book three as the chaos somehow keeps getting bigger. The port doesn't really stop anymore once the episode ends. It just changes locations for a little while. All right, before we really go, are you all with me here still? Take a breath with me. Hold on to the memories that made you smile tonight. Take a little bit of the summer is almost here energy with you into the week ahead. And don't forget to make some new memories worth revisiting later. Thank you for spending this time here in my third place. Not home, not work, just a space where we show up, tell stories, and leave the light on the porch for whoever needs it. Take care of each other, take care of yourself. This is the M3P podcast, where community, creativity, and nostalgia always have a seat on the porch. We'll see you next time. Peace. Take care. Um, you will not break me. What did he say at the end? I forgot. I totally forgot what Carl says at the end. All right, here we go. I got a perfect one. Let's go. You guys ready? You guys ready for this? Because let's go. All right, time to pay the daddy tax, baby.